Blood circulation. Blood needs to be carried to every cell of the body. It is the internal transport system that keeps the body functioning. It links every part of the body with every other part. The blood carries food in the form of nutrients extracted from the digestive system and oxygen in red blood cells from the lungs to every cell, where they are converted into the fuel necessary to the functioning of the cell. Waste products produced by every cell are carried away, carbon dioxide to the lungs, and the other waste products to the liver and kidneys, where they are extracted from the blood. Many different glands around the body secrete hormones. These are controlled by the brain and are the chemical messengers that instruct the organs and tissues how and when to function. Hormones are transported by the blood system. The body's defense mechanism to fight the invasion of foreign bodies, such as bacteria, viruses, harmful chemicals, etc., is also a major function of the blood. White blood cells are able to recognize any invasion and decide whether it needs fighting or whether it is harmless. If it needs to be fought, other cells in the blood attack and, if necessary, bring other systems of the body into the fight to help defend against disease or damage. Blood circulation also helps with the control of heat. It distributes heat evenly around the body and, when necessary, helps it to cool down by dilating, opening vessels near the skin surface to lose some heat or contracting those vessels to keep the heat nearer the center of the body. If the skin is damaged by a superficial cut, the tiny capillaries are severed and the skin bleeds. Some of the cells or platelets that form blood are capable of forming together and creating a clot that blocks the ruptured vessels and prevents further blood loss. The redness seen around a cut or other damage is an increase in the blood supply as it helps the cells to repair themselves. The heart. The circulation of the blood needs a pump. The heart, a four-chamber muscular organ. The muscles of the heart are of a special type. Instead of being individual fibers bundled together, they are connected so that a contraction in one area stimulates a wave of contractions throughout. Its muscle function is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. That is, it happens without any conscious effort on our part. The upper right chamber, right atrium of the heart receives deoxygenated blood that has traveled all around the body, providing oxygen to the cells via two major veins, the superior and inferior vena cava. This travels into the lower right chamber, right ventricle, where strong muscle pump it directly to the lungs, close by via the pulmonary arteries. The blood, low in oxygen but high in carbon dioxide that has been collected from the cells, collects oxygen from the tiny air sacs in the lungs that are filled when we breathe in and release the carbon dioxide into the air sacs that is then dispersed when we breathe out. When the blood has passed through the lungs, it is delivered back to the upper left chamber of the heart, left atrium, via the pulmonary veins. This blood high in oxygen and low in carbon dioxide passes into the lower left chamber, left ventricle, where very powerful muscles send it on its journey around the body again via a huge blood vessel, the aorta. The heart beats on average 70 to 80 times a minute in a healthy body. This pump starts when we are in embryo in the womb and continue until we die. Quite literally, our lives depend on it. The blood travels around three main types of vessels. They are arteries, veins, and capillaries. Arteries are the vessels that carry the blood away from the heart. Remember, A is equal to artery and away. The blood is oxygenated and bright red. The artery has a thick muscular wall that helps maintain the pressure of blood in order for it to travel to all areas of the body. If an artery is cut, this pressure causes the blood to pump out with each heartbeat. Arteries are usually situated deeper within the body to protect them from this kind of damage. Veins carry blood that is returning from all parts of the body to the heart. These vessels do not have the muscular walls of arteries, but they do have non-return valves to keep the blood flowing in one direction, that is, to the heart. The movement of the blood is mainly affected by the movement of the muscles in the areas around the veins and by the flow generated by the heart. This is one important reason why exercise and movements are essential for a healthy body. There are more veins than arteries, and many are situated closer to the surface of the skin. If a vein is cut, the blood is seen to well out rather than the way it pumps out of the artery. Capillaries are the link between the arteries and veins and allow the blood to reach every cell in the body. They are tiny thread-like vessels with very thin wall, and they branch out to every extremity. Their walls are so thin that the nutrient and oxygen carried in the blood are able to pass through the wall and into the tissue fluid that bathes the spaces between cells. Red blood cells are too large to pass through the capillary walls. Just the clear blood plasma carrying the nutrients is transferred. These substances, which are essential for life, flow naturally through the wall from an area of high concentration, the blood, into an area with a lower concentration, the tissue. Waste materials from the cells, in the same way, flow from the tissue into the blood to be carried away for elimination. For the purposes of manicure and pedicure, an understanding of how the blood circulation works is required. However, you will only need to remember the main arteries and veins in the hand, arm, leg, and foot. Hand and arm. The artery that serves the arms branches indirectly from the aorta and is known as the brachial artery. It runs down the middle of the inside of the upper arm, quite deep, to just below the elbow, where it branches into the radial artery running down the thumb side of the lower arm where it supplies oxygenated blood to that side of the hand and back of the hand. It is commonly used as a pulse point as it is quite close to the surface of the wrist and the beat of the heart can be felt. The ulnar artery that runs down the other side of the lower arm crosses the wrist and supplies that side of the hand and the palm. There are interconnections between the radial and ulnar arteries that form the palmar arches, known as the deep and the superficial arches. Branches from these serve the main areas of the hand, or metacarpal arteries, and more branches run down the finger, or digital arteries, to end under each nail to supply the nail unit with blood. The hand and arm are served by more veins than arteries to carry away the deoxygenated blood from the area. The deeper veins have the same names as the relevant arteries, that is, the radial vein serving the thumb side of the hand and lower arm, and the ulnar vein serving the outside of the hand and lower arm, plus the digital, metacarpal, and palmar veins. In addition to the major vessels, there are veins closer to the skin, known as superficial veins. Many of these can be seen through the skin on the back of the hand, or dorsal venous network, and the palm, palmar venous plexus, and let into the main superficial vein. Basilic vein, seen on the back of the hand, on the little finger side and up the center of the forearm. Cephalic vein, seen on the back of the hand around the thumb and up the forearm to the elbow. Median vein, from the palm of the hand up the forearm where it joins the basilic vein. Foot and lower leg. A large and important artery branches into every leg around the groin area, the femoral artery. It goes to behind the knee, where it becomes the popliteal artery and branches into the main lower leg arteries. The anterior tibial artery passes between the bones of the lower leg toward the front of the leg to the ankle, and from there to the top of the foot at the dorsal pedis artery. This branches to form the dorsal arterial arch and dorsal digital arteries. It then passes through the foot to form part of the plantar arch on the sole of the foot. The posterior tibial artery passes down the center of the back of the leg, past the ankle to the inside of the sole. Here it branches to form the lateral and medial plantar arteries, which in turn supply the arteries to the toes. It also branches near the knee to form the peroneal artery running down the outside of the leg towards the heel. Like the hand and arm, there are deep and superficial veins serving this area. The deep veins follow and have the same names as the main arteries. The two main superficial veins are the long saphenous vein, which begins at the dorsal venous arch on the top of the foot and runs up the inside of the lower leg and thigh to join the femoral vein, and the short saphenous vein from the ankle up the back to the calf to the popliteal vein at the knee. Obviously, There are many branches and smaller veins in the area that remove the deoxygenated blood and take it on its journey back to the heart and from there to the lungs. Some common conditions involving the blood system. Heart disease, even if it is minor, can cause a problem with circulation, leading to poor circulation at the extremities of the body. Weak nails and dry skin can result, and nails can appear bluish in color due to poor delivery of red oxygenated blood. A lack of essential vitamins and minerals in the blood can affect the condition of skin and nails. Anemia. This is a condition that results in a shortage of red blood cells, that is the cells that carry oxygen. This shortage affects the whole body. The most common symptoms are extreme tiredness and pale skin and nail beds. In some instances, the body just needs extra iron. This condition is especially common in young girls who don't have a proper diet and women whose periods are heavy, for example, due to early stages of the menopause. Varicose veins. This is an important functioning of the valve in the veins. The veins can become swollen and tender and can result in ulcers in extreme cases. They should be avoided during a leg massage. As with all conditions, a nail technician must never diagnose for their client. Understanding how the systems of the body work helps technicians to decide the best type of treatment for their client together with informed aftercare advice. Thank you for your listening. What do you think about this video? Please write your comment below. And if you like it, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you. Have a nice day.